This is the fastest way to edit in DaVinci Resolve. I will show you how to import and cut, then refine your cuts, then export. No fluff, just the essential shortcuts that take you from a blank project to a finished video in minutes. Now, the first thing you want to do is to import your media. The best way to import your media is to go to your file folder and let's go to desktop. I have some media here. For example, I want to bring the media files here. So instead of clicking and dropping inside the master over here, if you release on the left master here, you will notice that the media is important, but it's imported very organized, just like the organization you had on your hard drive. So now you want to start building your timeline. I will go to a folder startup here. I will make the icons a bit bigger. And to drop your videos in the timeline, it's very easy. For example, you select a video and you press Shift F12 and it's dropped in the timeline here. You can also select another video, let's say this one, click and drag and say append at end. So putting it at the end here. You don't have to go one by one. You can go two by two. For example, I have this clip. I will use the Command or Control key, select another one, click and drag and drop them in the media here. I could have used Shift F12 also. Let's zoom to fit here. I'm pressing Shift F12 again. Now you have built the timeline. Now you want to edit. You have dropped your clips in the timeline, but they are still very raw. You want to edit them. Editing them, it means trimming them on the in point on the left side and the out point on the right side. Let's try to zoom in first a bit so our playhead is not jumping much. First of all, you take your playhead, you start scrubbing through and decide where you want to start the clip. For example, over here, I want to start the clip just from over here. I want to trim everything from the playhead to the start of the clip. For this, if you come to trim here, you have the shortcut, trim to start, and you have another shortcut here, start to playhead. One will just cut and the other one will ripple cut. Let me show you. So I'm going to use trim to start here, and you will notice it has cut, but it left you with the blank. You need to select the blank and delete it. That's not the way to work quick and easy. The best way is to select your trim tool, come to trim, and you have trim start. This is the shortcut, which is Shift left bracket. I'm going to use it and notice now it trimmed and it has ripple. I will come where I want the clip to end. For example, I want it to end over here. And I want now to delete from the playhead till the end. Well, I can go to trim and use this shortcut. In fact, I will use the right bracket with the shift. But there is an easier method if you want to be quite fast. You come to DaVinci Resolve and here you go to keyboard customization. In the keyboard customization, you want to allocate these two shortcuts, the shift left bracket and the shift right bracket, to certain keys. Now, many people will tell you use the QW. I don't use QW. This is very old according to Premiere Pro because I cherish the Q, which is a toggle between what you see in the timeline and the source clip. I prefer to use F2 and F3. F2 and F3, by the way, are empty, so you can use them freely, including F4, there is nothing. I'm going to come to F2 here and you say start to, and that's enough. You will notice here you have the ripple, so you can add now the F2 like I have done here. If I remove it, I can come over and press F2, and here you are, I added the F2. So I have programmed my F2 and F3. How do I work now? Very easy. My fingers are on the F2 and F3. F2 is for the left, of course, and F3 is for the right. I'm going to cut this one from the right, and I will move, for example, just over here, F3 to cut to the out point. Now you continue very easily, decide on your in point. For example, here, F2, and then come to the out point, for example, just over here, F3, and you go on F2 and F3 all over the place. So I'm gonna go on very fast. Now that I have done all the cuts, it was quite fast, as you noticed. It's very easy. You have to pay attention. If you press F3 instead of F2, just undo. Now, I'll show you here a few tricks that are very important. First of all, how to swap clips. Because most of the time, you are going to make a small mistakes. Even I did a small mistake here. So you want to correct that mistake. For example, here, You notice I put this clip first, then this clip second. Actually, this clip should be before the previous clip. How do I swap them? Well, there are several ways. So now, with your selection tool, and make sure the snapping is on, this is off, this is on. You select your clip, you press Shift and Command or Control, then go up and move it to the left. You notice? Then it will snap. When it snaps, you can see the gray arrow somehow. It means you are going to insert it here. All you have to do is to drop it. This is called a lift and insert. This is one way to do it. Now, my clips are in the right order. Of course, I need to adjust the cut. Another way to do that is to select the clip that you want and press Shift Command or Control and use the period and the comma. The comma will take it to the left and the period will take it to the right. Notice that your period is on the right and your comma is on the left. So left and right, and you are swapping the clips. Not only that, you can use better swaps. You can select two clips, for example, press Control or Command and Shift and click and drag. Okay, I can lift them if I want, but I can drag. You can also cut other clips. That's not very good sometimes, but you can drop them over here. If you want also, you can use the Shift, Control or Command and use the comma and the period. Notice how two clips are moving, and that's very easy. And actually, it's very important to adjust your clips in the timeline. Now, after that, you might want to delete clips. How do you delete the clips? Well, there are three keys that will delete the clip. First of all, there is the backspace, which will delete and leave this space on the timeline. I'm going to use backspace now. It deletes it, but it keeps it on the timeline. There is also the shift backspace that will delete it and close the gap. So the gap, the blank that was left with only the backspace, with the shift backspace, it will also remove it. And there is the famous delete key, the real delete key. If you press the delete key, it will delete it and repel. So now you know how to remove certain clips that you have put there that you don't want at all. After swapping your clips and deleting whatever you don't want, obviously you need now to work on your cuts, and that's the most important in video editing. For example, you can select your cut here and move it left and right, and in the monitor on the left you see the clip that is on the left of the cut, and on the right you see the clip that is on the right of the cut. Very easy. So you can move them around, that's fine, but that is better if you double click on the cut. Now you have here a 2 up. I'm going to remove the media pool. On the left, I see the clip on the left, as usual. On the right, I see the clip on the right. You can select this cut over here and start moving it left and right. But notice it's giving me some space inside the timeline. So I'm going to undo. The right way to use that is to be in your ripple edit mode. Here you are. Now, if I come over, I can see exactly how it's working. I'm going to put this guy just in the air over here. If you want to be meticulous, you can use the plus or +1 here, so left or right, or just one frame at a time. So I'm going to put it here. Come back now to the lower guy and just put him, actually he is in very good position. Here you are, something like this. And let's play now the cut. If I play, you will notice I have created a very nice cut. Not bad at all. You can come back to the next cut now, double click here and decide that this guy should be maybe here and this guy should be maybe here, something like this. And then come over and play your cut. If it is done, cool. And that's it. Then you go on to the other cuts if needs be. For example, over here, that's okay. Over here, maybe you need to adjust it. So this is fine. And this is actually, it's very fine. I cut very well. Okay, so I'm going to take it down a bit. And then I play around the cut. Here you are. Not bad. It's working. Actually, by now you have video edited all your timeline and it's done. Now notice the job that you have done. We dropped everything on the timeline and we cut whatever we want. Then we adjusted the cut. And that's video editing. That's all. And the cuts should be perfect. Then you can add other things, like B-roll, like audio or whatever you like. Let me show you one small trick. You can click Option and select everything in the audio. If you don't want the audio, you want to replace it by better audio, and simply press, not delete, not shift backspace, backspace. And you removed all the audio. When you remove all the audio, of course, you can come over, for example, if you have any music, you can drop it just over here, and then just trim it to whatever is required. Now I came up with a whole timeline and I have my music. You can come over to the deliver, And in the deliver, maybe you can select S264. That's excellent. You give it a good name, decide on the location, and this is the video, and the resolution is like the timeline. Or you can change the resolution, for example, to whatever you like, which I'm not finding it. Okay, 1920 by 1080 HD. That's very good. You can use vertical if you have vertical videos here. And you come to audio here and make sure that you have audio normalization, normalize audio, and you go according to YouTube. If you are going to upload to YouTube here, you add to queue and you decide where you want, you save it, and simply come over to render all and you start rendering. And this is it, it's done. The next thing is to open your video and start looking at it. Thank you guys. I hope you liked this very fast and very video editing, quick and easy. And if you like my video, please give me a like and subscribe and check out my courses on kaiversity.com. Bye.